when everything shifted in my life, first of all, it comes off as a shocker. I kept on hoping that this is going to get better. In a long time, I was in denial. I kept on hoping exactly what is being described. Normally, as women, we have this thing of like, I can change him. Now, I'll give myself as an example in that part of letting go. You know, it can be really hard, especially if you're used to someone or you're used to a current situation. But for you to be able to let go, you need to, first of all, like I said, accept the situation. Acknowledgement is a very big tool for you to become the kind of person you are. If you want to be fully healed from something that you're going through, you need to acknowledge where it is. When everything shifted in my life, first of all, it comes off as a shocker because in a long time I was in denial. I kept on hoping exactly what is being described. I kept on hoping that this is going to get better. Normally, as women, we have this thing of like, I can change him. Yes, I was there too. Like, I can change him. Maybe this is going to change. Yes, of course, there are some situations or some things you look at and then you know this can be changed. But then there are things you cannot control. You need to accept some things that you cannot. You cannot control someone's behavior. You can't control someone's principles. You can't control people's feelings. This is something you're going to have to sit down. It's not a blame game. You do not have to keep asking yourself, why aren't I getting this? This person started this. Why isn't he? It is okay if whatever you feel is not being reciprocated. It takes you back to self-worth. You have to make peace. Like we said, letting go is not you rejecting the situation. It is you accepting what you cannot control and letting go of it. So in my own example, live example, I had to sit down. I spoke to myself. By the way, I did it so many times. I kept telling myself, Sandra, you can do this. Sandra, it is okay. You know, normally when we break up with people, by the way, I was this kind of person, if I break up with someone, I feel like I have no business with you. In fact, matter of fact, I get so annoyed with you. But this time, I can't even say, like, I literally collected my spirit, my soul, and my body to teach myself what I am supposed to do. Because, like I mentioned earlier, there was a child involved in everything. I sat down. Of course, you have your expectations in this moment. You're like, I'm building this with someone. I want it to take us somewhere. I want this and this out of it. But then you have to pause and take. Like with relationships, it's a two-way street. Yeah? You both have your own expectations. It comes off really bad. It is very messy and nasty if both of you cannot sit down and like put yourself on one page. Yeah, which I could familiarize myself with that situation because you know, like you're riding with someone, but you guys are not like, you're not aligned together. You're not on the same page. You're not agreeing on literally anything. So in the end, you feel like the relationship is draining you. Both of you feel like it is one of you putting in all the work because you are not working towards the same thing. Now, it's very, very important, especially for couples out there. You have to sit down, communicate with each one another. Of course, you both cannot be good at everything. Yeah, if your partner is good in finances, of course, you're good in something else. Make sure you align and you are both working towards the same purpose. So the pain of letting go can be very much, especially if you're like your expectations of the relationship or the situation you share with someone are like it isn't. For example, if we go to schools, there are those who are like, I'm here to get documents for my parents, and then there is you who's working because you want to earn maybe generational curses, and then you want your family to have a lawyer. Then mulimu nebalinga, it's just about Excel. They just like nga bwe kibeera bwe kityo. So it's the same thing in real life. Actually, I used to see a lot of differences amongst us, like in school. People are having different intentions. Like you see this one, it's lunchtime, maybe like I used to think that those people had a problem. Like, why are we studying and you're somewhere, maybe doing funny things? No. It's just you're not being driven by the same expectations. So it's the same scenario in relationships, the same scenario in the world. For you to be able to let go, you need to, first of all, take hate out of it because we are talking about healing and becoming. Everything you do has to come from a place of peace. it has to come from a place of peace. You need to be doing it for peace. I'm talking about inner peace. So shifting blame to someone will leave you restless. It will leave you sleepless. You will start being stressed all the time because you're now expecting the other person to adjust to your ways and become who you want them to be. Please do not forget to subscribe, hit the follow button, and of course, keep your comments there. I'll be glad to read and answer those that I can. Yes, let's catch up with the next discussion in the next episode.